We are working in Chapter 2, Lesson 6. We are on page 137. And our learning target today is that we will be able to find a percent of a quantity, solve problems involving finding the whole, given a part, and the percent. And we're going to jump right into the heart of the lesson on page 138. So go ahead and turn to page 138. Estimate the percent of a number. So estimating with percents will provide a reasonable solution to real-world problems. Choose compatible numbers when estimating the percent of a number. So when we are looking at example 1, 47% of 692. So 47% is pretty close to 50%, or 1/2, and 692 is very close to 700. So when we look at this problem, what we can do is we can estimate that instead of 47% of 692, we can estimate that to 50% of 700. So we would say estimate that to be about 350. Okay, so when we look at example 2, estimate 60% of 27. So 60% is 3/5. So if you think of 60%, that's 60 per 100. And then, so this can be simplified to 3/5. These are both divisible by 20. And then the 27, we can round that to a 25 because we already talked about compatible numbers when we did estimating with multiplying fractions earlier this year. But now it's just, we also have a percent in there. So we can say 3/5 of 25. Well, we know that 1/5 of 25 would be 5. So 3/5 would be 3 times as much, or 15. And the compatible numbers, really, it's just helpful for getting an idea to estimate to get you close to the answer. So 60% of 27 would be about 3/5. 27, as far as fifths, think of factors of 5, 25 is close to 27. So 3/5 of 25 would be 15. All right. So then we can take a look at examples A, B, and C at the bottom. All right, when we look at A, so 48% of 76. So 48%, I would say that's pretty close to 50%. And so, and again, we're estimating here. So 76, I would round that up to 80. So 50% of 80, I would round that to approximately 40, okay? So then, let's look at B, 18% of 42. So the 18%, I would round that to maybe 20%. 20% is 20 out of 100, which is simplified to 1/5. 42 is pretty close to 40. Of means multiply. We learned that earlier this year when we talked about multiplying fractions. Of means multiply. So 1/5 of 40 would be about 8, or 40 divided by 5. Okay, would be 8. So approximately 8. All right, so all we're doing is looking for like rounded numbers, kind of, so that we can estimate and get close to our answers. We don't have to be exact. We're trying to get a ballpark idea of what our answer would be. Okay. So when I see 73%, I am thinking 75% or 3/4 of something, okay? So when I see the 73%, I automatically think of 75%, which would be 3/4. Of means multiply, so times, of means multiply, and 41 is very close to 40, so 3/4 of 40. Well, 4/4 of 40 would be the whole thing, or 40. So 3/4 of 40 would be 3/4 of the way there, which would be 30. Okay, 3/4 of 40 would be 30. So these are just approximations to get us close. All right, I'm going to make my 3 a little bit neater. And then moving on to page 139, example 3, we'll look at two methods. Number 3, polar bears can eat as much as 10% of their body weight in less than 1 hour. If an adult male polar bear weighs 715 pounds, about how much food can he eat in 1 hour? So the question is this: what is 10% of 715? Okay, so that's the question that we're truly being asked. So we're estimating 10% of 715, approximately, because it's an estimating problem. All right, so then 10% would be 1/10. So 10% will be 1/10 of means multiply. And the 715, we can round that to 700. So 1/10 times 700, we do our multiply by fractions, numerator times numerator, 700, denominator times denominator, 10. 700 divided by 10 is 70. So about 70 pounds. Okay, method 2. Okay, mental math is just finding 10%. So we have 715. Okay, we can say that's approximately 700. And I know if I want to find 10% of something, I can take my decimal and move it one place to the left. So currently, when I look at the number 700, the decimal's here. Okay, so then if I want to find 10% or divide by 10, I move my decimal one place to the left. So 70, so about 70 pounds. Okay, about 70 pounds. So that's just another way of doing it. That's with mental math, because we can find 10% by moving the decimal one place to the left. All right, next, letter D. Kaylee decided to donate 30% of her savings. If she has $238 in her savings account, how much would she donate? Okay, so the question is this: about or approximately, what is 30% of 238? So approximately, what is 30% of 238? Okay, approximately, what is 30%? Okay, so if I have 238, I can round that to 240, okay? Actually, I'll round that. So I'm gonna say between 200 and 250, I'm gonna round that to 250. No, I'll do 240. 240 is a little bit closer. Okay, so if I took 30%, okay, of 240, so 10% would be 24. So if I take 10%, I just move my decimal one place to the left. So 10% is 24, all right? So 30% would be 3 times as much. Does that make sense? So let's say that again. So I took the 30%, instead of doing 238, I rounded that to 240. So now I'm going to find 30% of 240. And I know 10% of 240 would be 24. So if I multiply that by 3, that'll give me 30%. 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 2 is 6 plus the one we carried. So about $72 she would donate. Okay, about $72. All right, you can also estimate with percents using a rate per 100. So this will be another strategy, is round to the nearest 100, and then round to the nearest 100 and find that percentage. So let's take a look at example 4. So estimate 17% of 198. All right. So 17% of 100 would be 17. 198 is very close to 200. So if 17% of 100 is 17, 17% of 200 would be about 34. Okay. So approximately 34. I'm going to say that again because it's all listening. All right. So listen again. I'm going to say that one more time. So if they ask me to find 17% of 198, 198 is very close to 200. So 17% of 200. So I can easily find 17% of 100 and then double it. 17% of 100 would be what? 17. So 17% of 200 would be twice as much. So I'm going to do times 2 to get 34. So 34. So that works whenever you have the number that you're trying to find the portion of is really close to an even 100. So it's close to 100, or it's close to 200, or it's close to 300, or 400, or 500. Okay, so then you can just find the percentage and then double it or triple it, depending if you have 100 or 200 or 300 or 400. Okay, let's turn to page 140 and do some more examples that are similar to that strategy. Okay, let's look at letter E. So estimate, actually let's do the example 5 because that's a good one and it's a word problem. So an airline records the snack orders of passengers. Last year, 9% of all passengers ordered ginger ale to drink. There are 408 passengers on the flight to Houston, Texas. About how many passengers does the airline expect to order ginger ale on this flight? So estimate, what we're being asked to do is to estimate 9% of 408. So 408 is very close to 400. Okay, so what I can do is I can take that 408, round it down to 400, and then I look at 9%. So 9% of 100 is 9. 9% of 100 is 9. So if I'm estimating, I want to find 9% of 400. So how did I get from 100 to 400? Times 4. So what do I need to do to my 9? I need to multiply it by 4, and I would get 36. So 36 cans of ginger ale is what they can expect. So again, this strategy only works when the number you're trying to find a part of is very close to an even 100. Like 408 is very close to 400. All right, let's do example E. Will this strategy work for example E? Yes, because 307 is very close to 300. Okay, so 27% of 100 is 27, but I don't have 100, I have 300, so I'm going to triple it. So I'll do 27. I'm going to work right over here, so I have a little more room. 27 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21, write the 1, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 we carried is 8. So 81 is our estimate there. Okay, let's look at letter F. 76% of 192. Okay, so 192 is very close to 200. So I can round that to 200. So I can say 76% of 100 is 76. So 76% of 200 would be double that. So I'm going to take the 76 and multiply it by 2. 76 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Write the 2, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus the 1 we carried is 152. So 152. And these are approximations. Letter G. Last year, 24% of the zoo visitors were under the age of 3. Last week, the zoo had 996 visitors. About how many of the zoo visitors were under the age of 3? So about, what is 24% of, so the 996, we're going to round that to 1,000. Okay, so 24% of 100 would be 24. Yes. So I'm going to take just per 100. So 24% of 100 would be 24. But I didn't have 100. I had 1,000, which is 10 times as much. So I'm going to multiply that by 10 times 10 to get 1,000. Then I take my 24 and multiply it by 10, and I get 240. So approximately 240. Okay, so this was chapter 2. Okay, lesson 6, estimating using percents. Chapter 2, lesson 6, estimating using percents.